first you would SSH onto the Eleuther like stability cluster. And then you would go to like your working directory. In this case, mine, like most folks, is in the FSX one. Then I have this Pythia directory, which contains the repos for GPT NeoX, language model evaluation harness, some like tooling scripts I have, and then most importantly, the checkpoints. So well, let's say that we're interested in evaluating like the 125 million parameter deduped model, which is one of the Pythia models we have. For each Pythia model, we have a deduped and a regular model. Deduped in that the training examples have been deduplicated. So what I'd want to do is make sure I've downloaded the checkpoints. In this case, let's say I want to, I'm going to go delete the current 125 million that I have. All right, so that's gone now. So I want to go do is pull these from S3. So these are all the different models that we have hosted in S3. And here we can see this 125 million dedupe. Naive, we don't want to, using the AWS command line directly, we don't want to download these because that would also include the optimizer checkpoints, which aren't necessary for evaluation and are really big. So first things first, the way like the scripts are kind of set up is that we need to create the repo for these to be saved in. So I'm going to go in the my checkpoint directory. I'm going to go create a empty 125 million dedupe. And then the script that I'm interested in doing is I'm going to go into the NeoX repo. This is a clone of like the main branch of the NeoX repo, except with some minor changes. Like there's a few more scripts that I've added. And most of these are ones that are building on top of scripts that Haley created. And I commented out a few, like a issue related to the SQLite database in, I think the like on the evaluation files. So let's see, the download this to download the checkpoints. I think I want to do this. I think it's oh, I thought I already had the command saved. What I'm interested in is this convert all script here, where the arguments I pass in is the model name, the checkpoint step that I want to start with, the interval, and how many of them. So what we're interested in doing is I can copy from one of these other scripts that we have. Or actually, I think it's this one. We're interested in starting from step 1500 through step 7150. You get every 5,000 step increment. So we can copy from this script here. So if I recall correctly, to get the arguments for convert all, I want to do bash convert all. and then the model name, which is 125 dedupe, and then pass in these arguments. You have the step start, step interval, step count. And then you want to spell bash correctly, like I did. And as you can see here, it's skipping a bunch of the files here. Very cool. So it looks like these checkpoints are downloaded. If I list the directory's contents, I can see that we have them. We have our 15 checkpoints. So now I can begin running the Slurm jobs for them. So Slurm is like this tool that allows us to run these like distributed jobs on these scientific clusters. There's a lot of Slurm commands you can go advanced, but the few that I've only really needed is like sact, and that tells me the jobs that I've run recently and their status. So in this case, it's going back a little bit. These are all the jobs I've been running over the past couple of days. There is sinfo that will tell you all of the different clusters that you can use, like clusters, like it'll list like their state of whether like they're in use or they're idle, how many nodes are available in that cluster. Typically, I just choose like for the evaluations, I don't really need that many nodes because we're not running like super intense jobs. I'll just look at whichever is available at any given moment. So you can find the idle ones for doing with this state flag. So here there's this G40423 node that is idle. So that's the one that I'm going to use. So then what we want to do is begin running evaluations. There's a few things that you may need to do when before to kick these off. So in NeoX, we have like these configurations here, these config files. And the scripts, like we have these Pythia-based ones. That allows us to reference the correct checkpoint to initialize the model, set all the correct hyperparameters, etc. Then I'm going to reference this one. And then, as you can tell, it is essentially a like JSON file with all of these attributes. You may need to modify a few of these. For example, like I commented out this like launcher and deep speed arguments here because I was running into a bug where it was saying like a socket was already in use. So I found just commenting these out fixed that problem. Also, the TensorBoard directory and the log directory configs, I was running into permissions issues with whatever the default ones were. So I just replaced the values here with my home like working directory, and that resolved the issue. There may be more elegant ways to resolve all this, but those are the ones that I came up with. Additionally, the default values, like default paths for the different working directories for like the checkpoints, like here for like save, it's like fsx home Kyle 1668. These may like be initialized with like either Haley's directory or my directory. And you may run into permissions issues if you're trying to load or write across into another user's directory. So I would replace any reference that you see in the configs to someone else's directory. I would replace that with yours. So this set was initially FSX Haley or Hales. I did mine replaced it with home and then my directory here. So then we have these 0-shot eval scripts and these 5-shot eval scripts. that take in a model as an argument, and then we'll like generate the evaluations for that. We also have this batch queue script, which is pretty helpful because we have something like 15 different checkpoints, and these 0-shot and 5-shot scripts only work for a single checkpoint. This basically kicks off a Slurm job for each checkpoint. So it'll kick off something like 30 Slurm jobs in parallel. So that makes it so that all the evaluations complete faster, and you have like a faster feedback loop. And also like automate, so you don't have to run 30 commands, and it's really easy to miss one. So the arguments for this script is that you pass in the script paths for the 0-shot, 5-shot, the partition you're interested in running on. Partition, when I was referring to the clusters, Slurm clusters earlier, I meant partition, and the model you're interested in doing. So I'm going to run this sinfo command again to find the idle clusters. Here, this partition seems free, so I'm going to copy that ID. And then I'm going to do batch queue 0-shot for the 0-shot script, 5-shot, the 5-shot script, the partition, and then the model name, which references the checkpoints and is used to reference the checkpoints and the config. I'm going to go quickly make sure that I got the arguments correct. I did. Here we go. So now it's kicking off all these different jobs. I've been getting this warning saying that it can't find my name in a group ID. The stability folks say that can be ignored.